Take it out and loosen up a little bit. This is the Gun Talk After Show. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, but it's always worth it to hang around for the after show. A lot of times we cover topics we either couldn't get to or didn't want to put on the radio. If you're on hold, stay right there, because we're calling Tom back to the microphone for a little more fun. Show producer Jim Kinsey will be here along with Michael and Michelle. Now, the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, we are now in the after show. Well, that's because we have to have part of the show where we can say a little bit more than we would say on the air, which means that nobody's the boss of us. We got Michael, and we got Jim, we got Michelle, and we got the callers, and we're just going to have a bunch of fun. First of all, guys, you're all right there in that Toledo area, and it's waterless weekend. What the heck's going on?
We have toxic microcystin in our water, which makes it sickly to drink it.
Yeah,
tons of toxic algae blooms that have made it virtually impossible to drink and or do anything but bathe in this stuff. They just upgraded us to that. So
I was just going to say, because yesterday they were saying don't even bathe in it.
Yeah. Now you can bathe in it and just risk a neat rash or growing a third eye or something.
You're in Toledo, so the non-bathing portion only affected like 6 people.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm not affected by that part at all, so I'm cool. I got wet naps.
I've been cool since January.
There you go. Yeah, boy, that sounds like a great time. So, and Jim, you were saying that people are actually getting literally into fights in stores trying to get bottled water.
Yeah, the cops are working extra shifts. Running out of bottled water. I mean, they had at the local Walmart had 3 semi-trailers pull up full of water, and it was gone in 45 minutes.
Oh yeah. Now you got a well, right?
Yeah, we're on a well here, so we've been inviting friends, to come on out and fill up and bathe and do what they need to do here, and take some water with them, and that's worked out pretty well.
Now, Michael, how about you and Michelle? What are you guys doing for water?
I have city water, which obviously you can't drink, so I've been going back and forth. I went to my folks' house yesterday. They live in an outlying area and have well water filled up there. And now that I'm here with Jim, I'm going to steal some before I leave.
That's right. I want some water, baby.
I want to wake up with some coffee tomorrow.
I figure if we call it even on your paycheck for the month, that'll work out.
That sounds real fair. Sure.
Look, a little algae in your coffee. What's the big deal?
No cream, just algae.
I guess this stuff causes gastrointestinal distress, liver damage, headaches, sweats.
Oh yeah, the local ER. My buddy's an ER doctor, and he had a 16-hour shift, an 8-hour shift turn into a 16-hour shift, and in that 16 hours, he personally had to take care of 60 people with gastrointestinal.
Sounds like a Giardia kind of a deal almost. Ugly, nasty.
Yeah.
Once again, all of us going. We are just a hair's breadth away from civilization being stripped. All you got to do is say, turn off the taps right now. It's gone. Now what are you going to do?
Right. Now imagine if we had an EMP hit or something, and people say, oh, you're a prepper, you're paranoid.
I shot one of those EMPs. They are great. Oh, wait, that's not what you're talking about.
No, the other kind. The electromagnetic pulse. Yeah, I mean, just think about something like that. A solar flare, something wiped out. I mean, it'd be a matter of, hours before people go nuts. And I've got buddies that constantly tease me about, oh, you're just paranoid. You got 100 gallons of water in your basement. You're never going to need it. I'm like, yeah, well, you may. Yeah.
Until today.
Right. I mean, a fist fight very easily could turn fatal. You don't know. I mean, over water.
Oh, yeah, and I do. If you guys just kind of make a note, the book title is 1 Second After.
Okay.
And it is worth a read. It is, you can't put it down once you start it. It's a novel, but it's about an EMP going off and what happens in a section of the country.
Okay.
And basically they're without supplies for a year.
Great. I'm going to read this book and have 200 gallons of water in the basement.
That's right. More ammo.
I'm just moving into this backyard here.
All right, let's go to line 4. Lee is with us out of Maud, Texas. Hey, Lee, what's going on?
In 2008, I was coming back from Iraq, and I went over to the DOD medical specialist. I got talking to a sergeant major in the Army. We're coming to Fort Benning, Georgia, and I was sold on the Smith & Wesson MP-15. When I got back to the States, I was going to have one of these guns.
All righty.
He talked me into buying the Ruger SR-556.
Okay.
Art, I love this weapon. It's outstanding. I've loaded up some Hornady 75 grain hollow point at 100 yards. Dime size groups is no problem.
Right.
Love this weapon. I hadn't heard any or seen any reviews. I hadn't heard anything about the the MP-15 as far as accuracy. And I'm just wondering, did I make a wrong choice? Or do I need to go buy a new weapon?
There's no wrong choice here. Here's the thing. I'm fortunate enough. I actually have both of those rifles. I've got a Smith & Wesson M&P 15, which is their MSR or AR-15, and I also have the Ruger 5.56. The big difference there, and you probably already know this, is that the Ruger is a piston-powered gun, and the M&P 15 is a direct gas impingement gun. So the Ruger's going to be, it's a little more expensive. It's going to shoot cooler. And the theory is that it will shoot longer without getting dirty before you have to clean it. But other than that, as far as the actual shooting, they are really no difference, and accuracy differences are probably going to be gun to gun, not model to model. They're both going to be very accurate. So there's no wrong decision. You just kind of pick one you like.
Well, next question.
Okay.
My gun loves heavier bullets.
Okay.
62 grain, 75 grain. And I have got a house load of the 55 grain green tip, Lake City. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. How does it shoot them? What's it do with them? What's the accuracy?
A 5-inch group at 100.
Well, you know what that means, Lee. You are in luck, because that means you get to buy a second rifle.
I'm all ears now.
See, yeah, I knew that. See, you guys knew what was going on. All you're doing, Lee, is you're calling me for permission, and I give you my blanket permission to buy as many guns as you want, man.
Well, you and my wife both. She does not mind me buying ammo or weapons or nothing.
Does she have any sisters, Lee?
Yeah, but they're not so good.
Well, here we
Send
go.
them a link to this show.
You know what that line in Steel Magnolia says? If you can't say something nice about somebody, come sit by me.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Well, now, here's the thing. Let's get serious about this for a minute. Well, I don't know if we can. Your 5.56 Ruger shoots the heavier bullets well, so it's probably got a faster twist rate.
1 in 10.
How? 1 in 10.
That's what it said on the tag when I got it in was 1 in 10.
I am a little bit surprised it shoots those heavier bullets so well, actually. The question I would have for you is this. How much of the 55 grain bullet ammo do you have?
2,000 rounds.
You could go two ways. One is you could buy you another upper for your gun with a different twist rate. Maybe go, now you got me flummoxed, because I was thinking for sure you're going to tell me you had like a 1 in 7, 1 in 8 twist rate on the Ruger. That's why those were shooting. I was going to say go to a 1 in 12 or 1 in 10. I don't. You guys have any thoughts?
Do you try any different ammo of the same weight?
Different ammo, same way. Yeah, I've got some Russian silver bear and 62 grain, and some Russian brown bear. That's I think it's 62 grain also.
How do they shoot?
Excellent. I mean, 62 and above. Nickel size groups at 100 is no problem. Now the hand loads I got, the Hornady 75 grains I loaded up, I can nearly hole for hole them. Nearly hole for hole.
You know what may be going on? It may just be that 55 grain ammo is just not very good ammo.
What is it, Remington, Lake City, Remington? No, Federal.
Well, it should shoot. You know what I'd be tempted to do? If you got a friend who's got an AR, go out and try his rifle and see how this 55 grain ammo shoots through that, see what's going on. Because if you can't get it to shooting anything, then we can say, okay, it's the ammo. But if it shoots real well in somebody else's gun, then that means Lee is in luck, because Lee gets to buy another rifle.
Amen.
Well, I carried the ammo out with a buddy of mine. He got a Bushmaster, gas impingement, an excellent weapon. I love it. It's as slick as it can be. And his Bushmaster with a 1 in 7 twist shoots them hole for hole nearly.
I think Lee's going to be getting a Bushmaster.
Something.
You know what? I would. Here's the thing. Since you called asking about the Smith & Wesson M&P 15, and they are, man, you're not going to believe how cheap they've gotten because everybody's got more AR-15s than they know what to do with right now. The sales are down significantly. You do a little shopping, you'll be shocked. You can probably pick up an M&P 15 for under $800 now.
When I made the decision to buy this Ruger, the cheapest I could buy it was $1,800.
Yep.
Now you can buy the same weapon for about $9,000.
Yep.
Maybe $1,000. Depending on where you go.
And wait till you see what the Smith & Wessons are going for. They're going to be even less because it's not a piston gun. So for $600 to $700, you're going to be able to get you a real nice rifle that'll probably shoot that ammo fine for you. You're in luck. You get to buy a new gun, Lee. Listen, we got to keep it rolling here, and I appreciate you calling, and thanks for being part of the after show. I appreciate that. Guys, sometimes you end up just kind of scratching your head trying to figure out why one gun shoots a particular load better than others. And often you just end up going, I don't have any idea.
We all agree.
I could hear three heads being scratched right there going, I don't know. What are we going to do with that one? Huh? It's like, okay, great one. What's the answer here? Darned if I know. My solution is buy something else. Try that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's, but what have you guys seen in terms of prices of ARs these days?
I saw one the other day with a Trigi on it. A Trigi. I love my Trigi. With a Trigi on it for $900.
Which Trigi kind of? Not an ACOG.
No, Reflex.
Okay.
But even that's a $2,000 combo 6 months ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me tell you, and it's like you heard this deal that Springfield Armory has going right now. Everybody has deals going. All the manufacturers are offering terrific deals through the distributors. Check the distributor websites, which is like RMR, Lipsy's. Michelle, help me out. Who are some of the distributors?
Davidson's.
Davidson's, Gallery of Guns.
Right.
Yep.
There's lots of them.
Lots of them out there. And there are deals to be had, and the dealers are getting the deals, and ask them, okay, what kind of a package is out there? What kind of promotions are going on? Because there's not only price cuts, but also buy this, get that, packages, that kind of a deal. We're going to be in for about 6 months of some really, really good deals on guns and stuff. Not 22 ammo yet.
I was just going to say, I hope that's contagious to 22 long.
Yeah, boy.
Michael's sitting here with his calculator trying to figure out how long he has to save for his next 223 or a 223.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but I was just going to say, Jim, I'm going to need a raise today. I've been out there looking. I've been wanting to get my hands on an AR, but I just haven't found anything that blows my skirt up, so to say. And
what are you looking for?
Something a good starter rifle. Something, because I don't have a whole lot of experience with them. Just something to start me out.
We'll get you an H&R handy gun in 223, a little break action, single shot. We'll get you started. A little starter gun.
Yeah, that's a slow starter for sure.
$149, good to go.
Wow.
And
Actually, we laugh. I shot one of those on Prairie Dogs that they had put a suppressor on.
Really?
Ooh, that'd be sweet.
Can you believe this? An H&R handy gun with a suppressor on it. And it was so quiet because there's no action. There's no gas coming out anywhere.
Right.
Oh, man.
That was fun.
Did you hit anything?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
The beauty of it is with the suppressor, you're not scaring the other Prairie Dogs when you shoot.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, yeah.
Yeah, you shoot, and they're just kind of going, why is Fred laying down over there? What's wrong with Fred?
It's not even nighttime, Fred. Get up.
Yeah, it's tons of fun, yeah.
Well, how about we take a little pause here, and we'll hit our necessary stuff, and then I come back. I got a question from the show.
Oh, sounds good. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Tired of paying for one concealed carry holster after another that's flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? Alien Gear holsters feature a super stealthy and ultra comfortable design. Our professional quality holsters are backed by an ironclad triple guarantee, including a free 30-day test drive, free shell trades for life, and a forever warranty. Starting at just $29.88, you won't find a better quality or better priced holster on the planet. Any planet. Go to aliengearholsters.com to get yours now.
All right, back with you here. By the way, just got a... this is going to be stupid. I just got an email from a guy. It says, how do you listen to the after show? And I thought, well, I'll answer that here. Oh, but wait. If you're hearing this, you already know how to listen to the after show.
Okay.
Wow.
Get extra fillings in your teeth. You can pick it up.
There you go. You guys are rolling your eyes. All right, Jim, you had a question for Michelle.
Yes, Michelle. Dear Michelle.
Sir.
Teach me about something I've never done before. And you are the goddess of long-range shooting.
Oh, gosh.
Tell me what you did the past couple of days.
You pull the trigger hard, right?
You throw
yank
the barrel.
it mostly.
You flick it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Well, over the last weekend, we went and visited some very good friends. And, of course, with our very good friends come rifles. Mm-hmm. And they had asked if we wanted to go do some long-range shooting. Well, since we don't have the ability to do that necessarily in our neck of the woods, and he had a 1,000-yard range, we said sure. And he has a 6.5 Creedmoor, which I had never shot that round first.
Yep.
And the farthest steel target that he had on his yardage setup was a 700-yard target. And wow, it was so exciting.
Yeah.
What kind of rifle?
Oh, I knew you would ask that. I don't know.
Bolt action?
It was bolt. Yes, it was bolt
Savage
action.
or something?
I don't know. I don't know though.
And the 6.5 Creedmoor has become wildly popular in only about 3 years.
It was incredible. I mean, there wasn't much recoil, first of all,
right?
Which was extremely nice, and I don't know. It was just right on call. It was exciting. And my husband was standing there next to me, and he's like, I don't even need to shoot it. That was good for me.
Well, you should probably plug your husband here. He's a sharpshooter.
Yeah. Well, he's been known to have a few rifle memorabilia trophies.
Competitive shooter. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now, one of the things that's really fun, and you just experienced it, is once a rifle is on like that, it actually becomes fairly easy to hit at these long distances, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. I mean, obviously, we sighted in a couple of different yardages and then took it out to 700 yards. And it was, like I say, it was just fun. It was exciting. Drove all the way out there because most people can't envision what 700 yards is like. And so we get in, the little gator buggy and head down range and take a great picture there. And you can't see it hardly with the naked eye.
How big were the targets?
Oh,
pop bottles.
Yeah. Basically like a person silhouette.
Okay. I thought you were hitting steel for some reason.
Yeah, that was. It was steel.
Yeah,
but that's
steel, but it's just the shape of silhouette. This is,
right.
probably 18 to 24 inches across and 36 inches high ballpark.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'd say you're probably right on.
Awesome.
Neat.
But
Yeah,
fun.
And the 6.5 Creedmoor is not a big cartridge. It's not real fast. It's just accurate, but it shoots these beautiful little 6.5 bullets that are so good, and everybody's just all over them now.
Yeah, it was fun.
So I've been looking at 6.5s and going, the Creedmoor, the 6.5 by 55 Swedish.
You even enable yourself.
I was going to say, well, Tom, maybe you should get another gun.
That's what I need. Thank you, guys. I was sure hoping you would help me out here,
Now, what's something like that round good for?
Anything?
Shut your mouth.
It's just like a serious question.
Whatever do you... I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. I'm just lost. It doesn't matter. What's it good for?
It's good for fun.
It goes bang.
We're going to have some remedial training from Michael.
Oh.
Man. No, actually, it's basically it's a long-range cartridge. You could use it for deer hunting, absolutely no problem there.
Yep.
It would be fabulous deer cartridge. You could use it just for going out and saying, I want to shoot at 1,000 yards. And the sweet spot for this is that there are other good 1,000-yard cartridges, big 300 magnums and beyond, but they beat you up.
Right.
Or like a Weatherby, you know you shot it.
On the education and instruction side of this, it's just the perfect caliber to go out there and introduce some long-range shooting to a newbie, even.
Take me next time.
Yeah.
Well, when I was out in Idaho 6 weeks ago or so at the Ironman competition, which, by the way, we're going to start doing the editing for that video. We're going to actually make 2 TV shows out of that. That was so good.
Wow.
But they had an AR-15 set up in 6.5 Creedmoor. And they were shooting steel at 900 yards with that. And with not a bad wind, but it was probably a good 10, 15 knot wind, which at that distance, that's enough.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But I was so impressed. You go, man, it's just bang, bang. And they shoot. And it's really funny because the spotter is on the spotting scope watching, and the spotter will call hit before you hear the hit.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take a good half second for the sound to get back to you from the target.
Sure.
Huh.
So that's just fun. I mean, if you get a chance to do any long-range shooting, you ought to pick it up. And if you can find somebody who can teach you, and I was going to ask you, Michelle, did you have somebody there kind of coaching you through the process?
Yes, we did. And I mean, it was somebody that my husband had competed with for several years, both of them doing long range competition and in the high power field. And it was just, it was his gun. And yeah, I mean, he was on the spotting scope. My husband was with a pair of binoculars just watching things. And so, they were keeping track of the wind and whatnot because obviously that's a issue.
Right.
But, just a little bit of coaching and the go for it, was all it was needed.
I'm just looking right now. 6.5 by 55 Sweet. I'm on the Nosler website. 6.5 by Norma. I'll bet you I could talk to them because all they would have to do would be to get a chamber reamer for the Creedmoor, and we could chamber one of their left-handed custom bolt rifles in 6.5 Creedmoor.
Gee, who would that be for, Tom?
Anything I wanted it for.
I'll learn to shoot left-handed.
Here's the other thing about the Creedmoor cartridge is the 6.5 by 284 Norma, which is really good, but it burns more powder. So you're going to burn up barrels. You're probably going to get 1,000 to 1,500 rounds out of a barrel before the accuracy goes down. Whereas the Creedmoor, because it's a little bit less, you're probably looking at 5,000 rounds in a barrel. Substantial difference.
Sure.
So that's a fun little deal.
It almost reminds me of kind of the comparison between shooting a .22 when you're just starting out versus, I mean, it's a little different, but I mean, you're not starting off with the big Magnum monster charges that you could probably shoot all day with a Creedmoor versus the big guys.
Well, the other thing that I find, and I'd love to get your take on it, is that when you start out usually with a smaller caliber, but then you want to go to big magnums, and you get the big, loud, booming louder thingies, and you're shooting big cartridges and all that, and it kicks your teeth out. And then as you get older, you often start dialing back because you say, I don't actually need that to hit something, to kill a deer, to do long range.
Right.
I'm going to go back to something that's actually a little bit more fun to shoot so I could shoot it more.
Well, and you talked earlier in the regular program about ballistic coefficients. And, I mean, if you take a look at all those across the board, you realize not just because you don't want the hammering, you just don't need to shoot that large of a caliber, period.
No, you don't. And it's not velocity. It's my buddy Dan Zelenka. He's the president of the Louisiana Shooting Association, but also goes to Camp Perry, shoots long range. He coaches up kids in long range shooting. And he said something to me one time. He says, whenever I hear a shooter talking about the high velocity or how flat his rifle shoots, I know I'm talking to an inexperienced long range shooter. He says, but if he talks to me about the ballistic coefficient of his bullets, I know I'm talking to somebody that knows what he's talking about. And I thought, that's interesting because I was probably just about to tell him how flat shooting my rifle was. He said that. Well, shut my mouth.
Camp Perry's not that far. We may have to make a gun talk trek down there.
That's wrapping up, actually. The Palma team matches were today.
Is that what I was going to ask you if that's what your husband shot?
Well, he has in the past, but he's not doing that right now. He's playing with muzzleloaders.
And the thing is, how far is Camp Perry for you guys? An hour, 2 hours?
3 hours, maybe?
No, about an hour and a half.
Not
Is
even.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I used to go out there all the time in the
Road
Scouts.
trip.
There you go. And, you guys ought to go out just to see what's going on out there. I mean, Michelle, you've been there, of course, but...
Many years.
Yeah.
Well, they've miles of people lined up shooting, don't they?
Oh, yeah. They got all sorts of activities out there. The Scouts are out there all the time. In fact, the first time I was ever picked up by a tent in high winds was at Camp Perry.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Picked me and a buddy of mine up. I was probably 13 or 14 at the time. It took us 100 feet probably before we decided, okay, we're a little high off the ground. We're going to let go and just lose our tent.
If you're not familiar with Camp Perry, it's really the place to go because it is literally right off of the LG Bloom Lake.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no. You can get poisoning while you shoot.
No, but it is actually right off the lake, and the winds and stuff that come through there will put
incredible.
The best shooters, through their regiment. Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, if you get the luck of the draw, if you get a morning shoot when the wind's down, it works for you. If you get an afternoon squatting or you're getting out there, it's blowing you all over the countryside, and sometimes the best shooter just gets lucky or unlucky.
Yeah.
Well, we had a friend saying that, while the amount of people has gone down, the true competitorship has not been lost at some of these ranges. It is getting expensive for a lot of people to take part in these competitions, unfortunately. But, when they are the extreme competitor, they're not backing down. And so you really do have best of the best.
Well, I am going to, speaking of big shooting events, I'm going to the biggest shooting event in the country this end of the week, to the Grand American Trap Shoot.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Sparta, Illinois. It used to be in Vandalia, Ohio, just out of Dayton, right at the Dayton airport.
That's the one I was thinking was 3 hours from us. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
Yep.
And they've got you guys know what a trap field looks like. Mm-hmm. Imagine a trap field and then one right next to it, and then another one right next to it, and then do that until it stretches out 1.5 miles.
Wow.
That's how many trap fields they have there.
Jeez.
They will have several thousand people, about 5,000 people shoot somewhere in the order of 3 or 4 million rounds in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And so I'm going to go up and actually taking some shotguns up because they have all these shops set up along the shooting line there so that, Remington and Browning and Winchester and in this case, I'm Perazzi and Krieghoff and all the people who make the guns that are used for competition. They have regular stores there, but with repair facilities. So if your gun breaks in the middle of the shoot, you bring it in there, and they got people who could work it. So I've got some guns I need to get worked on, and the guy said, well, just bring them to the Grand. Man, they're all right there.
Good thinking.
So I'm going to go there and just go to the shops and say, here, do something with it.
Hey, Tom, what's that event that last year was, I think, the first year they did it, maybe second year, the night shoot? Isn't that coming up now?
Oh, that is the Crimson Trace Midnight 3-gun.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go out to that in 2 weeks. We're actually going to be doing a show from there, remote for Gun Talk.
Where's that at?
From Midnight. That is in Bend, Oregon. It's probably all filled by now.
Okay.
But people can go to the Crimson Trace website and look it up because it is an all-at-night shoot. No white light allowed for you as you're walking around. Now, when you shoot, you can have lights on your guns. But it makes it really challenging to shoot video, as you can imagine, because we can't turn on any lights for our video cameras because that blinds people and they lose their night vision. So I've got IR floodlights that I found on a Ghost Chasers website.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And our video cameras will shoot IR. And so we're running around, and I almost hate to tell people this, but I guess it's out by now. The first couple of years we're there, and there are these other TV shows running around going, man, it's just dark. We can't get anything. And we're going, yep, you're right. There's just nothing here.
Move along.
They can't see that. We actually have the whole area illuminated, but they can't see it. It's non-visible light.
That's
cool.
neat. Well, I use those on my security cameras at home, actually, infrared floods.
Yep.
They work great.
Yeah, we were shooting the guys at ATN, they make night vision and all that kind of stuff and thermal and all that. we were doing a commercial for them around my house, shooting it at night, and we had actually Ryan dressed up like a bad guy with a crowbar, looking in a window like a peeping Tom kind of deal. And we were looking through our camera. We kept thinking, why is the exposure all screwed up on this? It's like it's dark outside, and we're using our night vision, and it's just blown out. And we realized he's standing underneath our security camera that has IR lights on it.
Yeah,
nice.
So we can't see it until we look through the camera and go, speaking of that, FLIR, to make the thermal imaging stuff.
Yeah.
They just announced an add-on for your iPhone to turn it into a thermal imaging system.
Yeah, I had seen that.
How come us Android guys don't get this cool stuff?
Because you're Android.
Shut up.
Losers. Man, come on. iPhones rock. I just happened to... Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Amazon.com.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
My computer just
Tell
blew
everybody
up
that's
because
a PC.
You didn't like that, huh? Okay. You're messing up my computer. Oh, man. Well, so anyway, I'm going to go do that. We're going to maybe do a little bit of long-range shooting. The first-person defender shoot went really well. We tossed... Oh, okay, I got to tell you guys. We'll share with you. We had several of these scenarios. One, we did the Joe Wilcox thing out of Las Vegas where you had the tail gunner coming back behind. Remember the deal where the good guy got shot?
Yep.
We basically staged that. Yep, good guy got shot again. But we had several of these out of the news. One we got from Crimson Trace where somebody, and we actually had this guy and his 9-year-old daughter, his real daughter, in the scenario. Mm-hmm. And he comes around the corner, doesn't know what he's going to find, and we got a bad guy with a can of gasoline poured it all over his daughter, going to set fire to her.
Oh.
You're giving me chills.
You bet. It gives me chills right now thinking about it. I'll give you the cliff notes on it. Because this guy was kind of a gun guy, very close family. And he stopped and shot and emptied his gun and couldn't stop our, made-up bad guy. And he was so into the moment, he took off running at him. He was going to charge him and knock him down and take him out. And we had to call a halt to the scenario before he could get to him because, he was going to roll Ryan and break every bone in his body.
Wow.
Not that Ryan doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, So we took him out, trained him up, and basically taught him how to close the distance. Don't sit back because you've got a bad guy holding your loved one. You better make a precision shot.
Right.
So the way you do, and most of the time, we train this stuff, we're backing up. And we always say, there's no real reason to go forward in a self-defense situation, except when there is.
Except when there is, yeah.
So you better know how to do it. But yeah, somebody actually had to do that. The police officer had to make the shot in real world. So
I had somebody ask me that a few months back. They're like, well, what if an anti-gun guy I was arguing with? Not that I argue often. And... Well, what would you do if somebody grabbed your daughter and they were running away? Would you take a shot? You could possibly hit your daughter. Yeah, that's possible, but she's gone anyway at that point. You have to stop.
I'm going to run him down and get up as close as I can and stick the muzzle in his ear. I'm going to screw it at 90 degrees before I pull the trigger.
There you go.
I'm going to do what you're going to do? You're going to do whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get him back. And so... You need to learn how to move sideways, backwards, and forward. And can you shoot while you're moving forward, keeping the sights on the target? And that's where, I got to tell you guys, that's where having a laser is huge.
Right. Well, you can see how much you're bouncing if your legs, your suspension system isn't set up right. Your hands are going to bounce all over the place. It's going to throw your shot anywhere.
Also, we found that going up and down stairs with a laser, if you try to do a two-hand hold on a pistol going up and down stairs, it really throws off your balance. But if you stretch one arm out and just go one-handed, you could keep the laser right on target while you're going up and down stairs.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it was very cool.
It is.
So, every time we do this stuff, I just become more and more a fan and proponent of lasers and what they can do for you. And in situations where you just never imagine, you go, well, that worked out pretty cool. So, I'm going green because you got the whole daylight factor. It's not just seeing in the dark. It's being able to hit on the run, hit a running target, things like that where you're looking over the top of the gun and just put that green dot on them and let it go to town.
Do you have any concerns about some of these newer 532 nanometer green lasers where you can see the beam, the actual direction of where the beam's coming from, unlike a red laser?
No, none whatsoever.
You don't think it gives away your position or something?
I don't care. At that point, I'm pointing it at him. I'm going to pull the trigger.
Right.
You have laser and light discipline. If you're actually doing a searching deal, then you don't have your laser on when you're moving around searching. The only time it's on is when I'm pointing it at him. And at that point, I don't care. Actually, I'd kind of like him to know that I got a laser on him, and maybe he'll give up. But that's internet guy in his basement worrying about nothing where he's never been there before.
Well, that would be me.
Out and use it.
That would be me, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. You read all this stuff online, you're going...
No, because I'd always wondered about that because I have a few lasers, and I was I was sort of thinking, well, hey, would that be an advantage or disadvantage? But like you said, too, it's all about your light discipline. You're not going to have it on advertising where you're at.
Right. You don't turn your light on and just, if you're going through your house, you don't turn your light on and leave it on. You turn it on, scan the area, turn it off, and move.
Right.
And then the next time you turn it on, you're in a different place. And because of the way our controls are on our lasers, when you come up with it, sight, you can turn your laser on at that point. There's no need to have it on until you're ready to sight in on something.
Makes a lot of sense.
Makes me feel stupid for buying that neon light I put on mine.
The Eat at Joe's sign? Yeah. How's that working for you, man?
Open 24 hours. Yeah.
That's right. Or you could put the one on that says, "You are about to be shot by a Ruger," with the trademark and the logo on it. So
like
all in neon. So there you go.
Okay.
And with that, we have totally jumped the shark on this one. So time to go.
Thanks, Fonzie.
Yep. Yeah. All right, guys, you have a great week, and we will do it again because nobody can stop us.
See ya.
All right, bye.
You've been listening to the Gun Talk After Show. It comes up after the regular radio broadcast right here. You can download it on your pod, or you can listen to it right on your computer. This is where Tom, Jim, Michelle, and Michael hang around and have a little more fun doing what they do best, talking about guns. Check us out online at guntalk.com, and we'll see you back here next week.